Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about video games and if they're a waste of time or not. So I have a lot of experience playing video games. I played Halo for many years. I've played Call of Duty. I've played Battlefield. I've played many story mode games. And one thing I can say is the way people play video games depends on their addiction. So if you're playing video games competitively, if you have a lot of friends that you play with and you're, trying to play, scrims against other teams, whether it's 4v4, 8v8, 12v12s, and, playing basically competitively, that can have a serious effect on the amount of time you put into that game. So me personally, when I used to play Halo back in high school and a little bit into college, I would play like 8 hours a day, and then on weekends 12 hours a day. So I was really consumed into that video game trap. And the reason why is because when you play video games with a goal and you have friends, it's very seductive and it gets addicting because you're like, wait, this is my only goal. My only goal is to reach this rank or beat this team. And these are my only friends, right? Because not everybody, but some people who play video games, the friends they have online that they're communicating with and playing with are really like their only friends. Like they don't have any real life friends. So that can be a big reason why people get addicted. It's not necessarily the chemical rush of dopamine as, compared to pornography. Obviously, pornography secretes a way bigger amount of dopamine than video games. But it's more of like the social aspect and the goal aspect and the everyday habit of playing that causes you to be addicted. It's not so much of like it can be a dopamine effect when you win. Like if you're playing and you play a team that you want to beat and you end up beating them. Yeah, that's going to be a big dopamine secretion. However, on the other side, people who only play an hour or two a day are typically more casual. They play story mode games. They're not necessarily competing. They're not necessarily playing multiplayer, and they're not necessarily looking to rank up, buy skins, acquire more achievements or medals or anything, right? So depending on what lens you're looking through and what you're playing and which modes you're playing will determine the amount of time you put into that game or games, right? So if you're trying to achieve different goals in real life, such as, fitness goals, financial goals, education goals, whatever, it's going to be extremely difficult to simultaneously have a virtual life and a real life. So you can play video games, you just have to play them from a different point of view, meaning you have to switch over. Like, let's say, for example, you're a competitive player, you have a lot of friends online, but you decide, hey, you know what? I've had a great time, but I want to start pursuing some real life goals, which is totally understandable. You're not going to be able to manage your real life goals and your video game goals. So you either have one choice, or two choices, I'm sorry. If you want to pursue real life goals, you have to either cut out this side completely of the competitive side and become a casual player and only play a little bit here and there, or you have to completely cut it out. Depending on your addiction and depending on your life circumstances at that time, it might be difficult to completely cut it out. So, being casual still allows you to have, a little bit of entertainment per se, but it's going to be, like I said, extremely difficult if you've been, playing 8 hours a day and you're not used to, playing only for an hour and you get bored easily. So like I said, video games have different effects on different people based off of how they play, their amount of friends they have or their goals within that virtual world per se, right? So you have to look and see where you're at and see what if you have an addiction. Some of you guys might not have an addiction. Some of you guys may just play an hour a day or 2 hours a day, which is, if you're playing an hour or two a day and it's not getting in the way of any of your goals, your real life goals, then you really don't have any issue. But like I said, if you're playing 8 hours a day and you want to have real life goals that's not going to work, because 8 hours, even 5 hours is a lot of time. Think about it, right? Let's say you have certain gym goals, or you have financial goals, right? And you work 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. You playing video games for 5 hours 5 hours every night, that takes up all the time you have for the rest of the day after your day job. So as opposed to, let's say, hey, I get off at 2 o'clock, I go home, I relax, maybe I play from 3 to 4:30, right? And then I go to the gym at 5. Okay then. But when you get home, right, let's say you get off at 2, maybe you turn on your Xbox or PlayStation or computer at 3, and you play till 7. Well, you just took up all of your time now. Now that's going to get in the way of you creating success for yourself in the real world. So, video games don't necessarily have like a super huge dopamine effect as, like I said, pornography or, other drugs, but they do have that luring effect due to, the different games that have ranking systems, or if you have friends, or if you play competitively, right? So, if you find out that you're losing all of this time because you're playing competitively, like I said, you're going to have to drop it. And like I said, it's going to be difficult, not so much because you like to compete, but it's because, hey, some people that, their online friends are, like I said, they're only friends they have. So letting go of that is scary, because it's like, wait, these are the only people I interact with. Like I said, obviously, having a virtual friend is not the same as a real life friend, but you still laugh with those people, you still communicate, it's still a human voice in your ear, right? So cutting that out and then going from, 8 hours a day of competing and chilling and having jokes with your friends online, to now getting off work at 2, going to the gym, studying, doing this, doing that, meal prepping, doing all this, it's going to be a very difficult transition. But if you have to do it, you have to do it, because like I said, you can't let different, like I said, whether it's pornography, whether it's video games, whether it's drugs, or, people in your real life, your real life friends that are affecting you, you have to let them go. And, like I said, that's very difficult. That's very difficult from an identity standpoint, because if you've been playing video games competitively with, friends for 5, 10, 15 years, and all of a sudden you want to just drop it because you have some real life goals you want to pursue, it's going to be an identity crisis. And like I said, that can be very difficult. So wherever you're at, it's different for everybody, but video games can be a waste of time. But for some people, they're not a waste of time. They're like more of like, hey, I'm just playing for an hour or 2 with my family, or I'm just playing by myself a few matches a night. It's only an hour or 2. It's not really affecting me. It's not getting in the way of anything in my real life, my real priorities. So there's no problem. So it just depends who you are, where you're at, and that's why I'm here to shed light on this topic. So yeah, that's it. That's all, guys. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you have any questions, anything, leave it down below. And as always, I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.